to like and share this video. Also, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know that I'm coming in crystal clear. I was having some trouble with the internet earlier. Breaking, this won't stop and is serious. This is a worldwide altercation. And it's not what we're necessarily seeing in the news. It's what China is promising as part of its retaliatory action towards the West and the United States as a result of Nancy Pelosi's pre-planned visit. Again, take a moment to like and share. Also, it's your last chance to get our American Eagles at AMTVgold.com. We are running out. It's your last chance to get our Archangel Michael silver and gold bars. So make sure you do that. Also consider our sovereign mints as well in perfect condition. You're gonna need this stuff for barter and a whole lot more. Links below at amtvgold.com. And thank you for your patronage and supporting us and supporting liberty and freedom worldwide as these events break down. So let's get into this and more and wade through the media just here for a minute. This is from US News and World Report. China is signaling plan to launch missiles over Taiwan in a dramatic, troubling escalation. The move, of course, in response to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's very high-profile and abrupt visit to the island nation, showing Beijing's burgeoning standoff and bellicose rhetoric with the United States, proving that it's only just now beginning and just getting started. So I'm going to talk about the damaging sanctions that I believe are going to cripple the United States of America and send us into an economic, financial tailspin, which is exactly why you want silver, ladies and gentlemen. It's exactly why you want gold, ladies and gentlemen. It's why you want physical tangibles in this environment, and you want to be rushing out of US dollars as quickly as you can. So many of you understand, for example, links below at amtvgold.com, many of you understand that much of the semiconductors that go into our computers and handheld devices come from Taiwan. A lot of them, like 90% that's going into your cell phone or your Apple iPhone or your laptop or cars. Everything is now digital and takes these semiconductor microchips to operate. Now, one of the key measures not a lot of people are talking about that China just cut off and gave the boot is sand. Some of you may or may not know this, but silicon is the semiconductor most commonly used to produce computer chips today. In simple terms, silicon can be found in sand. And this is why the high-tech industry is reliant on sand mining. Sand mostly consists of quartz, which itself is mainly composed of the semiconductors silicon and oxygen. Now, of course, the West has been attempting to try to counter this, although they're very far behind. They have set up some manufacturing plants like Chandler, Arizona, I'm familiar with, having property out there and having lived out in Arizona, but we're still very behind the curve. So what China is doing, in addition to preparatory military and amphibious action strategies, okay, that's currently being implemented as they're going into live fire drills over the next days, as they are sending sorties along that Taiwanese dividing, very contentious line, where an accident could happen at any moment. Again, what I'm expecting, ladies and gentlemen, is a Franz Ferdinand moment, which is tough to predict, but then spirals things out of control, as that event that no one could control that leads to the inevitable conflict and war that everybody seems to want. So let me read this to you. This is from the Straits Times, straight out of Asia. It says it announced it would stop exporting natural sand to Taiwan. So expect none of your digital devices in the coming months to get the semiconductors and microchips that you need. If you think that there has been a supply chain shock that's bad so far, wait until you see what is coming, which is why you need to order silver and gold, which I think is significantly undervalued. You also need to be buying Bitcoin and learning about blockchain and those tools as well, but you need to get the physical because you're not going to be able to get this. Okay, we have already had massive supply shocks in recent months, really the last part of the year, and many fear it's about to get much worse. Now, Taiwan gets 90% of its supply of natural sand, mostly used in construction from China. So it's also used in construction, but it is cheaper than importing from other places like Vietnam. China also banned the import of citrus fruits and 2 types of fish from Taiwan, so food supply as well. This comes on the back of Monday's suspension of imports from over 100 Taiwanese food manufacturers. Taiwan has deep economic ties with the mainland, which is one of the island's largest trading partners. China is also flexing its military muscle, according to their news agency, holding live fire military drills from Thursday to Sunday in 6 areas around Taiwan. Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense said 27 Chinese military aircraft flew into Taiwan's air defense identification zone on Wednesday, ratcheting up tensions again, of which 22 crossed the median line of Taiwan Strait. China's Eastern Theater Command had on Tuesday night launched a series of joint military operations around the Taiwan Strait. So again, all this was planned and choreographed long in advance. They wanted Nancy Pelosi to visit. There's a reason why they chose her. I'm assuming there was probably some kind of negotiations that had already taken place behind closed doors. It appears both countries want a giant war, and this is very, very serious, and it's not going to stop. Again, you have the posturing of a new emerging world superpower in the name of China, a collapsing fiat petrodollar system that is no longer. They're getting rid of oil and transferring us to a new energy system of sustainables. You have a Chinese digital yuan dollar, a hyperinflationary collapse in the West, too big to fail debt that can never be paid back until they reset and take people to war. And this war will be World War III. And it's exactly what they're doing. And case in point, notice as I predicted earlier last week, we would get a hyper pump this week. And we're absolutely getting a hyper pump, just like I said, because they can't stop inflation. Interest rates set by the Fed, okay, will still only be a measly 3.75, maybe inching towards 4% by the end of the year. Even if they do this, and they haven't done this yet, they can start reversing policy and cutting rates, okay, if the economy slows. We'll barely be touching 4% by the end of the year, probably not even that much, even if they hike 75 basis points consecutively from the current Fed funds rate. We are essentially still at 0. And like I said before, this means they can't stop the inflationary event. You can't just raise rates a couple basis points and expect money supply that you've pushed into the system at a hyper velocity that's printed more than all humankind in existence over a period of like 2 years to just turn off that spigot. I don't care if you throw in the kitchen sink. The only option the Fed has now is war, which is why you can guarantee that we're going there. So the Dow, as I predicted, rallying super hard, pumping this week and pumping today, August 3rd, 2022, 400 points today, as investors cheer strong U.S. economic data and earnings beats. Stocks rallying Wednesday as traders cheered better than expected economic data. How about them apples? That slowed down the idea that a recession is inevitable. They're now saying you should have bought the dip. Like this guy told you, you should be buying crypto, you should be buying gold, you should be buying real estate, you should be panic selling out of US fiat collapsing inflationary dollars, you should be diversifying yourself and getting ready. You should also be buying these at the link below, okay, at amtvgold.com, and get them before they run out. I always sell out of all this stuff. I'm almost sold out of the American or the ARCHANGEL silver bars and also the gold bars. So get those. Those are absolutely favorites. We also have Fed's Bullard, okay, from the central bank saying, yeah, he sees more interest rate hikes, but no recession. So the recession is already off the table. See how emotional the markets are, and see how retail always gets screwed? I told you that this was going to happen. They're going to screw you, screw the middle class, tell you to panic sell, take your Bitcoin, take your crypto while they buy it, and then they're going to pump everything into end of year and then reset the entire financial system, institute capital controls like we're already seeing in China, here in the United States of America. So there is no recession. In fact, it's quite the opposite. And instead of that, we're actually seeing more greed enter the market of grand proportions, pushing new meme stocks like AMTV Digital, which is a lesser known Hong Kong-based fintech company, seeing its shares skyrocket today 126%. Actually, that happened on Tuesday. It's up 21,000%, up to 1,679 a piece from its IPO price in just 2 weeks. 21,000% on a meme stock while they were telling you to sell. Again, why would you sell anything? You should be buying everything. Remember the video I did a couple weeks ago? I was rallying all you saying I'm buying everything. I'm buying stocks, I'm buying crypto, I'm buying Bitcoin, I'm buying Ethereum, I'm buying XRP, buying blockchain. And that's why I launched Island Project. We're buying real estate, we're buying gold, we're buying silver. And now look what's happening. We're pumping. Again, everyone gets overly emotional. That's why most people are broke. They're not Bitcoin rich. And I don't want this to be you. So just understand, we are actually entering a hyper pump now well into the end of the year. And we always overshoot, a little bit to the upside and the downside. Also, let's talk about the capitulation. There's been maximum capitulation. We had Saylor step down, from MicroStrategy. That's capitulation. We're seeing a lot of these firms that are over leveraged capitulate to the downside. That's clearing the marketplace. This is all good news. And we also have regulators moving into the space, which is also super bullish because there does need to be some regulation, providing more clarity to a market that hadn't been that regulated. And I've been saying this for years at school. I said the minute they start moving forward with regulation, take that as a good sign and a cleansing of the system, only guaranteeing and solidifying the hyper crypto pump of the future, which is exactly where we're going. In fact, now we're up 500 points on the US stock market as I'm reading across my telescreen at this very moment. So what's the underlying geopolitical events that are going to keep pushing this much higher? Geopolitical war, The military industrial complex is foaming from the mouth right now. They're not going to just let big pharma make billions. They're going to get a piece of this action as well. This is why you should get a piece of the action too. So the military industrial complex is now poised, in my view, to rake in trillions on the continuous, infinite, endless wars that they construct around ending the current system, ending the petrodollar, and resetting us into a brand new one in terms of CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and of course, China is the predominant and premier new world reserve. Also, notice people's eyes are being taken off Ukraine. Another thing that the media wants you to not be thinking about right now. Russia continues to dominate in Ukraine. China and Russia continue to dominate as they take the world stage. 12 hours ago, the South China Morning Post just reported that Russian-held Ukraine nuclear plant is out of control, according to the IAEA chief. So there could be something regarding nuclear activity that could happen soon. I actually think this is going to happen. I spoke to this, and I've been speaking to this for a while. The next major thing to look towards is Europe. God forbid something happens, limited in scope, by a suitcase, you know what? God forbid, as they've already warned in New York City, get ready, get your bug out bags. They put out a PSA a couple weeks ago, said a nuclear bomb could go off at any moment. That's what they said, not what I said, creating panic and fear in the hearts and minds of New Yorkers, and I pray that doesn't happen. But they're obviously predictively programming us to that end goal, right? And into that general idea, as they've really wanted people in a constant state of fear over the last few years. Again, the famous quote, you have nothing to fear but fear itself. But in this country now, in the 21st century, fear everything, right? Fear going outside, fear breathing, fear hugging, fear loving. That's how you know you can think through this critically and understand where all this is headed. So we see Vladimir Putin, by the way, super healthy, never been healthier. All that was bullcrap, what they were telling you about, that he had cancer, he was shaking, and had neurological disease. All of that wasn't true. This guy's healthier than a horse. China is winning. They're actively building out their Belt and Road Initiative. I'm not sure if you've ever pulled a map on this, but this is the new Silk Road. China is kicking the crap out of the United States right now, literally, on every single level. You have emerging supergiant nation states and a declining West with zero growth, if not negative growth. You do understand that, I'm not the only person in the world to acknowledge this and understand this. Every major economist, every billionaire, anyone on the world stage, all the politicians that they're smart know this. You have a collapsing West that can no longer support its infrastructure. Okay, it can no longer support baby boomers, all the retirees, Social Security, Medicare, welfare, healthcare. I've mentioned this before. I pay over $2,500 a month personally for my family for health insurance, and we can't even use it. That's a sign of a collapsing empire state. That's a sign of an upside down pyramid scheme, which is exactly what we have today. So all of this is unsustainable. And for you baby boomers out there that think it is, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. There's a lot of people out there that stop working, think that everything's fine, and you're going to find yourself getting back to work if you're not smart now and diversifying out of dollars into real estate, hard assets, gold, silver, crypto, Bitcoin, and the number one identifiable trend in the world, which is blockchain technology, which they're setting the stage for CBDC. So the Chinese digital yuan currency has already been declared as the new world reserve. This is what is being traded and marked, okay, as they buy and sell oil contracts. Russia, for example, is only accepting, the sanctions have done nothing. Every sanction that the United States and the West has imposed on Russia has only strengthened Russia. Okay, you understand this. The ruble has stabilized. The ruble's never been stronger. It's right back at the same levels before Biden's weak-ass sanctions that have only destroyed America, destroyed the supply chain, and hyperinflated and hyperpumped all the assets that matter to average people here in the United States, like housing, food, energy, etc. Joe Biden did that. That's why when you go to the pump, it costs you $200 to fill up your tank. It's his fault. It's all the politicians in Washington, D.C. Meanwhile, everything's fine in Russia. Things have even gotten better. They even had McDonald's sell all of its assets, so now people are no longer eating toxic foods. Russians will be healthier, wealthier, and stronger than they ever before. Not to mention, they've cozied up with China, which, by the way, could turn on Russia at some point, and really are the two principal allies setting the stage. China gave the go-ahead to Russia, to Putin. China was the one that told Putin to go into Ukraine. Of course, Putin wanted to reacquire Ukraine, which means old Russia, technically speaking. Like literally, it means old Russia, back into the Russian Federation. But it was China that gave the green light. So the media, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, that doesn't throw China under the bridge only proves it's very biased in their reporting. Because it's actually China calling the shots. China called Putin, was like, yeah, take Ukraine, get the proxy war started. Okay, we're going to move on Taiwan soon. And then probably negotiated with politicians here in the United States with internal agreements they don't tell the American public about, which is why Nancy Pelosi went there, because it's already baked into the pie, so that they can step up sanctions, ratchet up tensions, start firing missiles, as U.S. News reported earlier today, over Taiwanese airspace, and eventually, through a series of steps, take it over, which is absolutely what they're going to do. Again, guys, this isn't going to stop. Okay, the only thing that's going to happen is what I've told you is going to happen. When in the history of man, and when in the history of your short-term lifetime, has the central bank and Federal Reserve not pumped every single time to new record highs? When? Because I hear crickets. I could hear a pin drop every single time they hyper pump. So what do you think they're going to do this time? Hyper pump. This is what they do time immemorial. They get a brief drawdown, there's a consolidation, there's a 2008-09, they bail themselves out, hyper pump. 1929 crash, hyper pump. 2020, a little fear comes into the market, they shut down the whole world, everything thinks we're moving into a depression, nope, hyper pump. A couple of months ago, we've seen a drawdown in crypto, consolidation of blockchain. I told you to buy everything, not financial advice, just my humble opinion and what I do with my own money. What's happened? Hyper pump. So we will hyper pump, just guarantee it, my opinion, well into the end of the year. And people are going to look back and be like, man, I missed it again. I missed it again. And this is what I keep telling you guys. You're going to miss it again. It is absolutely insane to me how stupid people are. I'm just being honest. How stupid people actually are, that they don't think that the central bank that prints money from nothing isn't going to continue hyper pumping. And then once it gets really long in the tooth, they snap their fingers, new rule change. Suddenly, you'll have Biden on camera. Huh? He won't even be able to talk. Joe Biden here, okay? I'm just going to tell you there's capital controls now, and for the good of the country, as he probably collapses on stage. Then they'll declare capital controls, in my opinion. They'll shut everything down. They'll introduce a new US CBDC. China will take the helm, and it'll all be for your own good, okay? Because the old system doesn't work anymore. You understand this? The old system's broken. That's how they want it. That's what they created. And so they're going to reset it to a new one after all the wealth is transferred to them, okay? You know, so they can buy a couple more super yachts, their 15th vacation home that they don't even visit, and just pad their own pockets and do what they do best, which is what we've allowed. Americans have allowed this to run rampant. Again, Americans did nothing in 2008-09. When the too big to fail banks that created the crash in the first place collapsed the entire system by selling faulty mortgage derivative securities, what did the American people do? Nothing at all. See, it's the American people's fault. I mean, we did get a couple drum beating, Wall Street protests for like a couple of weeks, There's like a couple people out there banging a drum, but nothing happened. All that was cleared up. I remember reporting on it back then. Nothing happened. The American people failed to act over and over again. So you will be dictated to exactly what happens, okay? And the American people will take it, just like they have before. Again, I have zero confidence that Americans will act on anything. I mean, just take a look at what's happened in recent years. So this is all baked into the pie. What you should be doing, the smart ones out of you out there, okay, those of you that understand the truth, is you should be building your ARCs. You should be building your financial economic ARCs. You should be getting rich. I want you rich, okay? I deliver the truth. I want you buying gold and silver. Click the link below. I want you crypto Bitcoin rich. I want you 1000X Island Project rich. Not financial advice, my opinion. Read my disclaimers and disclosures on my website. It's everyone else that wants you broke. Notice even Coinbase stock, which is a huge buying opportunity, pumping 20% today. Yes, because after they capitulate the little guy out, then they hyper pump. You see how this works? This is how they always work it. This is why Pantera Capital, I mentioned this, I've met Dan Moorhead before, they went 100-to-1 gains on some of these crypto positions recently, sold the top while everyone else lost a bunch of money, especially on retail. They sold at 100x, okay? They're buying again now. Who do you think is going to take over Celsius? Goldman Sachs. Chase Bank is going to buy those assets at less than 10% to the dollar. Never bet against Goldman Sachs. Never bet against central banks and the Federal Reserve. Always do what they're doing. Actions speak louder than words. I mean, see what the billionaires are doing. Do you see? What we see billionaires doing is they are laying off people. They did sell a lot of stock options, right, months ago. But they're de-dollarizing themselves with more activity and precociousness and aggressiveness than I've ever seen. I mean, the way that they're buying real estate right now and pumping assets 3, 4, 5x across the country is insane. So we will see a little pressure with rising interest rates, of course. That does affect debt for the average American, but a lot of this high-end real estate's all paid for in cash. So there's virtually no impact. Also, what do you think is going to create more demand for decentralized real estate moving forward? War, right? The more chaos like we had over the last few years, the more people realized they wanted to get out of cities. The more people realized they wanted to get as far away from general populations. Especially as war kicks off and it becomes more obvious that you're in World War III. They'll probably reinstitute the draft soon. In fact, the the Army head out of the UK said recently they're ready to fight World War III. In fact, I'll pull that article up. I mean, everybody's getting ready. Just like London used to be the center stage for finance and the financial capital and strength of the world, and then the British pound collapsed, and George Soros made billions on that collapse. The same thing's happening in the United States. It's a declining, weakening, zero to no growth empire functioning on an upside down pyramid scheme of debt. So it's just no longer, even demographically, we can't fight it. China has more people and more bodies than anyone else in the world. Not to mention our politicians traded that real wealth to China, and what did Americans do? Nothing. See, that's what Americans are really good at doing. Nothing. And that's the truth. They do nothing. Okay, so you've got to protect yourself. I'm giving you just hard truth today. The UK defense chief says World War III is a real risk. He said that even all the way back November 8th, 2020. And then a month ago, the British Army said the same thing, says they're preparing for World War III and an ultimate showdown battle with Russia. Again, not my words. This is the media telling you guys this. Now, I'm not saying I believe the media, but I certainly look at it as indicators for what they want us to see. So we can position, pivot, leverage ourselves, and profit in an economic financial storm and build the digital, economic, financial, spiritual, digital equivalent Noah's Arks that you're going to need to survive. Okay, China's not gonna like this. Nancy Pelosi just disrespected China. They will act, and they will act swiftly, and they will move hard with sanctions on the United States. And the sanctions will have much more of an impact, like with sand and food, as we see in Ukraine, with wheat and grain, as we continue to see them fire on Ukraine continuously, without abatement and no treaties. It's gonna hit America in the balls much harder than it does, Russia. I mean, I'm even looking at a chart right now, like ruble. Let's pull it up. Ruble chart. How's the ruble doing since Biden's sanctions? It's right back where it was before. In fact, it's stronger than it was before, ever. The ruble is stronger than it was before the U.S. sanctions. The only thing not stronger is you. But again, when the end goal is to debilitate a middle class, to collapse a system, into feudalism, of which there are only few wealthy and few in power and few in control, you have to remove that upper tier of people that are kind of rising, and you've got to smack them right down, into the gutter. You got to make sure that there's a 99% in that gutter, and there's like 0.00001% right at the top. And all these people up here get the bailouts. They're the ones that own the banks. They own the media. They own all technology. These guys will win, and then they'll dictate to you how it's going to go. And that's just the hard-hitting and in-your-face truth. Nancy Pelosi's visit, is a saber-rattling event, a defiant event, flying in the face of China and their leadership, which is now provoked intentionally drills, amphibious drills, missiles over the island, crippling U.S. sanctions. They've called her, quote, an American witch. And I can't say I disagree. And this is only, in my humble opinion, going to spiral out of control. So, you think any politics are going to save you at this point, guys? You think, Trump coming back is going to do anything? How about DeSantis? What if he takes over? You think anything's going to happen? You think anything's going to get better? You think if Oprah runs for president, she's probably going to run. You think that's going to help you guys? You think Oprah is going to save you? No. How about The Rock? How about if we get the ultimate WWE, showdown for the upcoming election? Let's bring everybody into it. We've got The Rock, who's a wrestler. Let's bring Trump in. A Hollywood actor and reality TV show host. Let's bring Oprah in. Another actor. Who else could we bring in? I mean, Zelensky is an actor. Didn't he do like ballet or something? Who could we bring in that would be more ridiculous to help implode the United States of America? I don't know. Bill Maher, should he run too? Who else should we get to run? How about the guys from Jackass? I would rather vote for the guys from Jackass, than I would have Oprah Winfrey, career politician, Obama's, Michelle run, Oprah run, or the previous WWE Fast and Furious star. I don't even think he was in that movie. I don't know. What movies was The Rock in? Jumanji. Yeah, we can have a Jumanji president. Also, too, let's get T2 the Terminator to run. Because America is not enough of a laughing stock, ladies and gentlemen. It is a corrupted laughing stock of cultural degrade and decline with no moral backbone at all. So again, I just play it like a poker player, ladies and gentlemen. I just play it like someone who's playing poker, okay? And I've got all my chips here, and I go all in on the things that I know are gonna work, okay? And I diversify. This is why you should be buying silver and gold. Do it with us at amtvgold.com today. Get real assets, okay, before it's too late, before the supply chain breaks down even more. And I appreciate your patronage. You guys support the Liberty Movement. You support me. You support what we're doing. You're supporting the Island Project. You're helping us fight back. You truly are the American patriots and the warriors out there. I owe everything to you. So thank you for your patronage. Had a lot of orders go out this week, a lot more going out this week. If you have any questions on order update or status, you can always email us at support@amtvmedia.com, by the way. That's support@amtvmedia.com. Also, as I always say, and I always educate you guys, I will never, ever contact you on WhatsApp. Ever. I will never contact you from a non-official account. I will never, ever, ever contact you on Telegram. So please be careful out there. The only links that are official links are the ones in my description. And the only people that you'll ever talk to are me or my father, John Greene, who lives out over in Oahu. That's it. Okay, so just be careful. I am a public figure out there. There's imposters. So only go to the official links in my description. I mean, you know, how many imposters are there for Kim Kardashian? 1 million? You know, you've got to be vigilant and be careful out there, guys. I'm not saying I'm Kim Kardashian, but we do reach a lot of people. So I did want to just mention that too and remind you guys. But get your gold. AMTVgold.com. That's AMTVgold.com. Check out our sovereign mints like I just showed you. Check out our bars. Get our Archangel Michael silver bars. I'm almost out of stock on that. We always sell it out at the first of the month. Get it in gold. I just mint it in gold. It's absolutely beautiful. Freaking incredible. I'll show you this here for a minute. I don't know how good it's going to come, but there's our AMTV gold right there. AMTV Scottsdale, Archangel Michael, 1 ounce. Get the barter gold. I've sold out a lot of that. Get your sovereign mint gold coins as well. Get everything you need and get all the bars, okay, as soon as you can. So make sure you go ahead and act on that. And I really appreciate your patronage, ladies and gentlemen. There's not a lot of us left. I mean, let's be honest. How many freedom fighters are left? Not many. And this is why we need to build the inroads together through our collective community and our collective humanity. And we really need to rally, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, no one's going to save you but our Lord and King Jesus Christ. He's our #1 prep. But you also have to take action instead of putting your head in the sand, and you need to get ready. And I've been preaching preparedness for 15 years. Bug out bags, food supply. I mean, how about them apples? People weren't laughing last year. Do you know I had my other house in Arizona stacked full to the brim at the garage? And when we had left, okay, and we battened down the hatches, because I'd already planned for this in February. I knew they were going to lock down the entire world, which is why I came out here, and I was basically on the beach just with myself and my family. There was no one here. It was the best place in the world to be through the entire lockdown, honestly. I remember being on the beach with a Corona by myself, and I was the only guy there, like it was the end of the world, because I was smart enough to get out and take my own advice. But I had my whole house filled to the brim in the garage with food, water supplies, bug out bags, equipment, medical supplies, toilet paper even. I prefer butt wipes, by the way, not toilet paper. And all of our friends and family were using our supplies because they were not, some of my family was smart, but most people were caught by surprise. So my neighborhood was actually taking advantage of my foresight. You see, I had stored grain knowing the winter was coming. I had gotten prepared knowing a depression was coming. You understand that, right? I had listened to my discernment, which God had given me, hallelujah, which He's giving me the same discernment right now to get ready with crypto and blockchain and Bitcoin. Click the link below at school, get your gold, get your silver, get all of these things so that it actually helped the community that needed it, right? I had already prepped. I had already protected my own personal family, right? I had already accumulated the resources that I knew I was going to need, you know, and the #1 resource being Jesus, of course. So I would even look at prepping, even silver and gold, okay, food and all these kinds of things. And we still sell food, by the way. You can check it out, AMTV store. That's store.amtvmedia.com. You can check that out as well. Store this stuff in dollar cost average for the people not doing it, for your family members that don't see the storm, that live in ignorance and think everything's fine, that think that they're still going to get, you know, Social Security in the future, even though it's bankrupt, arguably, right? Same thing with FDIC insurance. The banks, okay, if everybody tries to withdraw their money at once, technically speaking, and many would argue this, not just myself, that's insolvent. Okay, they can't just pay out on a fractional reserve banking system that takes your dollars 10 to 1 and creates the debt from nothing and lends it out at interest. That's what banks do. They create money from nothing, debt essentially, take your money, lend it out 10 to 1, and then charge people interest rates on their debt, mortgages, credit cards, on your money that's not theirs. That's what a bank does. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible what they've been able to pull off. Honestly, this is why gold and silver is so important. This is why crypto blockchain is so important. So if there's one thing you do today, share this video, like this video. God bless each and every one of you tuning out. I'm probably going to read out some names here. Number 2, click the link below and go to AMTVgold.com. Place your order today while you still can. Get our AMTV Archangel Michael 1-ounce silver bars and the gold bar equivalent before it sells out. Get AMTV 2022 American Silver Sovereign Mint coins. Get these while we still have them. Get our kilogram American Patriot metals bars proprietary to AMTV at AMTVgold.com. Get our 10-ounce. Get our 100-ounce. Just sold out of the CL20s. Don't have those anymore. Actually, you know what? I got those back in. What we sold out was the 100-ounce. I sold out of those yesterday. Get your barter gold. Stay prepped. Also, hey, Cammie, what's up? Good to see you. Hey, Mari, good to see you. Well, you know, I don't get everything right, but I get the general major events right. Okay, long term, I've hit the nail on the head. That's going to make you money, hopefully. That's going to help you prepare ahead of time. It's going to have you with more discernment, which I think God has given that to me so I can spread that message. Hallelujah. It's not coming from me. It's coming from him. It's going to get you ready to build the inroads, to play offense. All of you need to be playing offense. This is what I've been telling you. So, I mean, even look at crypto today, guys. Pumping again. Pumping again. Bitcoin. Notice we were at 17K just a couple weeks ago. You could have bought that dip. I told you to buy the dip. It's a 23K. XRP, 37 cents. Coinbase stock up 20% today. Now rallying off those lows. They'll probably just pump it, to $1,000 now that everyone got out of it. I mean, that's how it works. So again, the primary message here is they can't turn off inflation, ladies and gentlemen. They can't just get rid of inflation. I also want to shout out just some of our newest subscribers. For those of you that joined at school, I really appreciate it. I always promise to read your names out. Again, I'll never contact you, on Telegram, or I'll never friend request you on Facebook. You can always double check by looking to see if it's our official account. If you highlight it, it shows that we have, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. That's the only account. Okay, so just, keep that in mind. Wendy 9004 just joined from Los Angeles, California. Links below to school. Mishka 7 versus 7 just joined out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Cheryl Ann Wire from Valencia, California. Risen Lawn Care, McHenry, Illinois. God bless. Welcome to school. P. Hoffman 0621, Bethesda, Maryland. Philip Boyd 110, Chicago, Illinois. I'll read a couple more. Treasure Beyond Belief 22. James W. Mayhew. Chuck from Charlotte, North Carolina. Shell 2009, Homestead, Florida. Clump Dud, Shelburne, Vermont. Spencer Murphy, Fort Lauderdale. Suze Bowie, Detroit, Michigan. R. Johnson 7921, Cincinnati, Ohio. Brian A. Carlson 123. There's a lot more of you. I'm not going to read all of them today. Let me see if there's anything I missed in the news. Is there anything that I missed that you'd like me to comment on before I go today? And again, what I've been telling you has been the truth. What I've been sharing with you has been right on target. Again, what should you have been doing? Buying the dip. What's happening now? A pump. It's appearing there's no recession. It's appearing that they can't stop inflation. The earnings reports are beating expectations. Stocks are rallying 400 or 500 points today. That's going to continue to pump up. Up only, ladies and gentlemen. What part of this do you not understand? Just texting there, John, over at the AMTVgold.com store. So that's all I have for today. Please be vigilant out there. God bless each and every one of you. Visit our official link, AMTVgold.com. Place your order. Get your gold and silver. Do it with us today. I appreciate all of you liberty fighters out there, all of you that know the truth. Please like and share this video, get it out there. Super excited about all the inroads, all the things that we're building. I'm super excited about Island Project. Learn about fractional real estate. I'm the first person in the world to fractionalize Island Project real estate. This is the first opportunity where you can actually own beachfront, oceanfront homes, condos and vacation zones, generate cash flows, large potential capital gains, and I'm tokenizing it in the first person in the world to do that. The only way to learn about that, of course, is at school, bitcoinrich.com. You have to be a pre-existing member, somebody we've already have a working relationship with, but you can learn about what we're doing with our brokerage, learn about this new real estate dynamic. Okay, this is all the new trend too. So in the coming years, this is going to take over the entire real estate industry. I'm just a first mover in it because, again, I'm good at identifying trends, just like I identified social media, e-commerce years ago, blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, all these kinds of things. And now I've identified how they're going to blockchainify real estate, which is why I'm at the forefront of it, because it's an inevitable, natural, guaranteed progression, okay, as they divvy up assets, fractionalize all assets, whether or not it's real estate or stocks. Everything will be tokenized, including media personalities like myself. You will be able to buy shares in the AMTV platform in the future, tokenized. Everything's going to be tokenized. Your house, your money, the stocks you own, the bonds you own, the companies you own, the real estate you own, all of it. Even services will be tokenized in the future. You're riding an Uber, you could just click a button and own 1/100th percentage point of Uber, if that's what you wanted to do, tokenized. Okay, and you could do that instantly while you're, in the Uber with the cab driver. That's where things are going. This is a multi-quadrillion, multi-trillion dollar marketplace. Not to mention this whole other element of artificial intelligence, AI, technical advancements that are going to blow your freaking mind in the future. All this is going to translate into health. That's going to be massively huge in the future. Be skeptical of that, though, when they push that direction. There's a reason why they're going to push that direction, and I think you know what it is. Again, the whole goal of this, ladies and gentlemen, is the biological integration, okay? So stay on your tippy toes with that. They warn us about this in the Bible. And so it's going to go that direction. So I'm pro-health and wellness. I want you guys to be strong and ripped, okay? Which is, why I pay attention to my health and my diet and all these kinds of things. But be very, very careful, okay? Because they're going to be Machiavellian in terms of getting into your bodies. They got to get in there. It was data first. Now that they've taken control of all the data, the next logical progression for the algorithms is to get and work with humans. We'll just say that. So how about them apples? These are beautiful, aren't they? I just love them when they come out new. They're all shiny and gorgeous and great for barter. I mean, this is what America used to stand for, ladies and gentlemen. You see American liberty there? I mean, that's what we used to have, real money. Think about this for a minute. It wasn't just useless debt. It was real money. It wasn't backed by the faith and credit of the U.S. I have zero faith regarding the credit and backing of the U.S. When is the U.S. not defaulted? When is the U.S. not declared bailouts in 2008-09? This is real money. Money backed by something, ladies and gentlemen, not bullcrap. Okay, but this is what we used to have before they started clipping our coinage like Rome did, before the collapse, before the end of an empire, okay? Before all the cronyism and the bailouts and the PPP loans and the closures and the essentials versus the non-essentials and all this other hogwash. So anyways, guys, get motivated and get pumped. Realize you need to take action today. Realize you need to be DCAing gold and silver at amtvgold.com. You need to be learning about blockchain and Bitcoin. You need to be building your digital Noah's Ark. You need to be empowering yourself spiritually. Pray without ceasing. Call on the name of Jesus Christ, our King. Lord, our King, we call on your name today. We know we win in the end. We know every knee will bow. God bless all of you. I am Christopher Greene, hard hitting it in your freaking face. You are the freedom movement, ladies and gentlemen. And God bless you all. Go in peace, peacefully. Get the message out there. And thank you for your support. I love you, Juan. Want to see you at school. Colin, want to see you at school. And the rest of you. You are amazing. Cole, want to see you at school. Johnny, want to see you at school. Jacob, 1,000 freaking X, baby. Starling, 1,000 freaking X. 1,000 freaking X, baby. 1,000 freaking X in the freaking moon. 1,000 freaking X, baby. 1,000 freaking X, baby. 1,000 freaking X, baby. Take it all you to the freaking moon. 1,000 freaking X. 1,000 freaking X. That's how we do it at AMTV, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we do it at AMTV. That's how we do it at the Island Project. That's how we do it at the Digital Noah's Ark. We have the Holy Spirit, ladies and gentlemen. You are the truth. You are the solution, ladies and gentlemen. God bless all of you, especially those of you that still serve, that stand with truth, that stand with freedom. I stand with you all, ladies and gentlemen. 1000X, links below, amtvgold.com. Want to see you there. Links below, amtvgold.com. That's amtvgold.com, amtvgold.com. Thank you for your support and patronage. God be with us all.